I think we'll do the 6 questions that are going to candidates nationally. This is the introduction. An incoming parliament and government should support the right of the Palestinian people to self-determination, including the right of Palestinian refugees to return to their homes, as repeatedly affirmed by the United Nations General Assembly and Security Council. It should fully support an immediate ceasefire to end what the ICJ has accepted as a plausible case of genocide, oppose Israel's imposition of what has been defined by Palestinian civil society, alongside numerous human rights monitoring bodies, including Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, and B'Tselem, as a system of apartheid, and support the full and consistent implementation of international law, including the prosecution of those responsible for war crimes. So the 6 questions expand on, basically, do our candidates agree, and what will they do if elected to support these goals? So the first question is this: in light of that above statement, do you commit to following if elected as an MP, to the following if elected as an MP? To publicly demand and actively work to ensure an immediate, complete and permanent ceasefire in Gaza. Okay, 3 yes. Thank you very much. The second question: do you commit to stand up for the rights and dignity of Palestinian refugees by supporting the immediate and full restoration of UK funding to UNRWA and ensuring it can fulfil its mandate? To support a comprehensive 2-way embargo on the trade in weapons, components and military technology with Israel, to ensure that Britain and its citizens are not complicit in aiding and abetting crimes, including genocide. Number 4.
Excuse me, Scott, I can't easily hear what you're saying.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Just check. I think this one. How's that? Is that better? Sorry, mine had gone. Apologies. Okay, well, question 4. To support moves by the ICJ and ICC to hold Israel to account for breaches of international humanitarian law and violations of those processes, including by insisting that Britain must uphold any arrest warrants issued by the ICC. Question 5. To support the suspension of the 2030 Roadmap for UK-Israel bilateral relations and negotiations towards an enhanced trade agreement in response to the grave violations of international law and the immediate imposition of a ban on trade with illegal Israeli settlements. And finally, to uphold the freedom to advocate for Palestinian rights through the democratic process and in academic, cultural and educational spaces, including by defending the right to protest and opposing any attempt to prevent public bodies from divesting or choosing not to procure from companies shown to be complicit in Israel's violations of international law. Okay, thank you very much. So that's for the record. Our first question, and Diana, if you will answer this one first. And you will have 2 minutes, each candidate will have 2 minutes. If elected, will you uphold international law in all situations, even if this affects relations with allies or trade partners, such as the State of Israel and the United States of America?
Absolutely. Well, before we started, I had Sue here down the front, because the last hustings I did here as a Conservative candidate, I still believe Israel has a right to defend itself I have completely changed a lot of my opinions over the last few years, and I actually apologised to you, didn't I, Sue? And said, I've learnt so much, and there's no good in life if you don't learn, and I've certainly learned. So, yes, I want to see Palestine recognised as a state. I want to see, I don't agree with Hamas, and I don't agree with Zionism, okay? I want to see Israel and Palestine, and most of the Jewish people are not in favour of what's going on in Israel, and are not in favour of it in the UK. So I want to see us work to get Palestine recognised as a state, and for us to work together immediately for a ceasefire. Whilst I accept that this is a Slough election and a government election, and there are many things that impact on the Slough people, I've also said on my manifesto on my website that concurrently with all the things I want to try to achieve for Slough, and it needs so much, I will immediately seek appointments with the Foreign Office, the Israeli Embassy, any representatives of Gaza, because if we don't get on with it quickly, every minute means more and more people are dying. And it is genocide. £500 bombs, white phosphorus, depriving them of food and water. It's genocide. You can't describe it as anything else. So I am totally in favour of everything that the people that have organised tonight are asking, and that we are, I hope, all behind.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. As a lawyer, I'll always advocate for the upholding of international law and the laws that we have. But what we have to be very careful about is that nationally we're on a decline where the parties that come to power, because of shared numbers, because of the lobbies, what's going on, and the people who are speaking for human rights, humanity, their voices are being oppressed. And the sad reality is we need more people with a conscience to be elected as MPs who have a conscience, who could talk to ordinary people on the grassroots in towns like Slough, take that voice to Westminster. There's no point saying, well look, it's not my problem, it's somewhere else. It's a fantastic thing what Sue and others like her are doing with PSC in Slough, East Berkshire, the whole protest movement. I'm also in support of boycotting goods where this does work. So I think international law must be applied. There must be accountability. And there's no point in, well, America uses might, its power, European Union does that. But if they are real allies, real friends, they will tell the bitter truth to the Israeli government, stop abusing, stop killing people. There is a genocide. This is ethnic cleansing going on. Whether we like it or not, that's the reality, and that must stop. And the reason it will come to stop is if we uphold the international law, ICJ, ICC, and that means the inquiries that have been held already. The UN must go in. The right of return is in the UN Charter. Why is there an exception in Israel? Because Israel is dictating to what its allies then can make sure to change the rules. That's not acceptable. Because unless and until we have an independent Palestinian state which is recognized and the rule of law applies equally to them, we're not going to find peace in our lifetime. And just for your information, I've been lobbying for this all my adult life.
In fact, it's going to be one of the reasons obviously I've joined politics. I have been Weibo on Twitter for people of Palestine for a very long time, and this year I've decided to do something more. It's not enough. In fact, Workers' Party of Britain and our leader has been talking about Palestine for a very long time, for the last 30 years. He's been talking about the injustice and inequality they've been suffering for such a long time. The current genocide and the unconditional support of the uniparty system has made so many people angry. So many people have come out in numbers. And we're not just talking about Muslims, we're talking about all communities. All we were asking for, a ceasefire. And that's one of the reasons the candidacy has avoided this husting today. Because he knew it's one of the reasons we came out, and I'm pretty sure some of the other guys that came out of this country to fight against this injustice to people of Gaza and people of Palestine. And what we need to understand that UK has followed orders from US for a long time, joining every single war. We've not learned any lesson from the war in 2003 in Iraq, where we killed millions of Muslims. And we come out and we said, sorry, we made a mistake. Not good enough. And we're doing exactly the same with people of Gaza. But we've seen those horrible videos and pictures. And I've got a young family at home. And it's horrifying. And we're still sending arms to Israel. These uni parties have destroyed our moral values as British. And I came to this country, 25 years ago, looking for a better life, and this is what we got in return.